We just got to do it. YouTube. I tried to do this about an hour ago and it just didn't work out. So, anyway, catch me while you can. Uh, we might have about 30 days or so. So, hopefully, we get some subscribers, some community members on a live stream. That'd be super cool. All right. So, it's an MMA mess out there. Yeah, got a lot of things to talk about. Maybe I should show you this though. Uh, came across this here. Came across the MMA guru very recently, and I really like his take on the whole Jorge Masvidal street fight situation. Um, and come to find out, I guess this man's been streaming for hours at this point. I just checked it out. Anyway, the MMA guru, very, very interesting takes on his stuff. Uh, yeah, check him out. Um, also, shout out to Jesse on Fire. I found him through, the whole Cain Velasquez mess. Free Cain Velasquez. And the more I watch Jesse, probably the less I agree with him. I'm like 50-50 with Jesse on Fire right now. But the man seems to be so authentic to himself, and I appreciate it so much. So check out Jesse on Fire if you get a chance. And I did see him talking about the coaching situation for Jorge the other day, and I'm going to respectfully disagree. That's really an aside. I did see the video. I'm not sure whether it was a corner man or coach. I'm not sure who it was, but basically telling Jorge Masvidal, "Oh, you came to fight, bro. He came to wrestle. He just wanted to sail on you all night. Whatever." That's not helping anything, man. That is a yes man through and through. So I think this is a good opportunity to talk MMA mentality, execution, and acceptance. Really. All right, so let's get into the whole thing. I'm going to start with the fight itself. We know what kind of athlete Colby Covington is. We know what kind of athlete Jorge Masvidal is. I'm not sure why Jorge Masvidal thought he could show up to that fight and fight his fight. Jorge's been fighting for over 20 years. I've been watching pretty much the entire time, almost 20 years. I've been watching the entire time. I first saw him fight in a little video. If you can find this little gem on YouTube, he's got 2 fights with this guy named Ray, R-A-E. So go check out Jorge versus Ray. Ray was a protege to Kimbo Slice, backyard fighting back in the day, until he met Jorge Masvidal, and that's when I first found Jorge Masvidal. So I have a lot of respect, had a lot of respect for Jorge Masvidal. So let's get back to it. You should know what you have to do in that fight against Colby Covington, as well as your coaches should know. Let's get to the coaching now. So let's just pretend Jorge Masvidal's my fighter. Masvidal's been fighting for over 20 years. His striking is great. His footwork is good. His head movement could be a little better, but whatever. Side note, if you look at his record, a lot of decision losses there. Lots of decision losses. He got out wrestled a lot of times. So let's get back to the coaching. Jorge Masvidal comes in for this camp. We don't need to drill the 1-2. We don't need to drill the check hook followed by the straight. We don't need any of that. You've been doing that for 20 years and you're really good at it, despite what happened in the Karo Usman fight. Okay. You should be drilling grappling and wrestling. What do you call it? Scrambles? Excuse me. You should be drilling scrambling. You should be putting yourself in bad positions for 8 weeks while you're in camp. You should be doing no straight. You know how to do that. So what are you paying the coaches for? Exactly. As far as I can tell, you're paying them to comfort you after the loss of a fight. If that was in fact a cornerman or a coach that he is paying. I don't know who the gentleman in that video was. I guess another shout out to Fight-A-Fi. There's a channel I just stumbled on this morning looking for that video. Did a Google search for it and found it there. Fight-A-Fi. Very small channel. I think only has a couple hundred subscribers. I subscribed to it because I found the video there. But you're paying these coaches to be your yes men. And Jesse has a fair take that, that's not only what a coach said, but a friend consoles a friend. And I agree to a certain extent. But when you're consoling, when you're yesing to the point of your friend's detriment or to your athlete's detriment, now you're telling him things, you're consoling him, trying to make him feel better, as opposed to what? I'm not saying you have to bash him over the head with what happened. Maybe you give the man a hug and tell him that next week we go back to the drawing board. You can do this. I'm not sure how to, I don't know Masvidal personally, but you talk to people differently is my only point. I think the coaching really let Masvidal down here, y'all. I mean, and I'm not speaking even of the post fight, altercation in a parking lot where he attacked Colby Covington. And just for the record, I think that makes Jorge look even worse. I mean, again, check out the MMA Guru. He is 100% on this topic. I'm not sure Colby ever said anything directly about the kids or the wife. Like, I don't know what this narrative is. Please go check out the MMA Guru. I don't want to speak for him, and I don't want to regurgitate or repeat what he said, but it's an excellent take, which is going to let me jump to something else here. Michael Bisping. I really like Michael Bisping. He should have beat GSP, and I know that sounds crazy because he didn't. But he did go out on the shield, man. You can see in that fight, he was like, I should tap. I'm not going to do that. It's GSP. And he went out on the shield. And a great win for GSP. But looking back on Bisping's career, I think he's one of the greatest fighters in that, to ever do it at middleweight. Straight up. I mean, the man fought without an eye for like 2 or 3 years, I think. That's crazy. His last fight in the UFC, he had a fake eye in, and the doctors didn't even know. That's crazy. But recently, he's done some stuff. I've been very happy to see him out and vocal or whatever about everything. But here lately, man, I can't roll with him. He did a video on the biggest cheats in MMA. And of course, at number 1 was Vitor Belfort. Yeah, he's up there. Is he the biggest cheat in MMA? I don't think so. I just don't think so. So you see, that's a personal thing, right? Okay. But, Bisping, like many others in the MMA media, they're perpetuating this lie that Colby Covington was out here talking negatively about the children and the wife. Again, I'm going to say this again. Watch the MMA guru. Watch his take on this. In my opinion, it's 100% correct. Why do we have all these people out here foaming at the mouth and fibbing about these things? I'm not sure. But mixed martial arts is a real mess right now, y'all. It's a real mess. And I got to think a lot of this, part of it, has to be because of the MMA media. I mean, what are these people doing? It's crazy. I know I'm jumping all around. Let me just wrap a bow on the Masvidal Covington situation, because I don't care for Colby Covington. There's a reason he's number 2, and partly because of PEDs, I'm sure, but also because the guy has like pillows for hands. His striking will never evolve past what it is now, and it hasn't evolved in quite some time. So Colby has a ceiling for sure, and I'm pretty sure he's at that ceiling. That's what it is. If the striking can come along, then whatever. As far as the Covington Masvidal situation, it's ridiculous. Covington did exactly what he needed to do. However, I'm not going to say that's a great performance, because in my mind, i.e. Brock Lesnar, Heath Herring, when you dominate an MMA fight from start to finish, it almost looks worse on you. You should have finished that fight, and I don't hear anybody ever discuss that take, but that's my perspective. If you remember that fight, Brock's first fight in the UFC, wow. And it looked just like Covington Masvidal the other week. So to me, it presents a problem. You can dominate an opponent. You can dominate a man this well for 3 or 5 rounds, but you can't come up with a finish. That's a problem. I know listen, it's early in the morning. I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but Covington won that fight fair and square. No questions asked. Masvidal could have been better prepared. He could have fought that fight differently. He didn't. At the end of the day, that's on him. But I believe his coaches have something to do with that as well. I think Masvidal's a problem. I think his coaching is a problem. Colby Covington just did what he does. Very simple. Now we have this altercation in the parking lot, a jumping, whatever. It's ridiculous. I saw somebody the other day post a video, and in this video, talking about something like Ron DeSantis could pardon Jorge Masvidal. Wow, that's really irresponsible. And I'm just going to take a shot in the dark here and say Ron DeSantis is not going to pardon Jorge Masvidal for attacking someone from behind in a parking lot. I don't see that happening. Call me crazy. I just don't. And look, I don't want to get political, but I don't think Ron DeSantis is what everybody thinks he is. I mean, do you see all the problems going down in Florida? Maybe you know or you don't know. My family has had to endure an incredible tragedy, and it's something that I'm not going to speak on because it's not my place. But believe you me, there is some really crazy stuff going on in Florida and throughout the rest of the country. So I'm going to hold any governor accountable for the actions of what's going on there. And believe you me, it's all states. I really don't want to get into it, but believe you me, I just will say we've experienced loss of life in this family very recently. Yeah. And while it didn't end in Florida, it started there. If that makes, that's all I'm going to say. So, back to MMA. Yeah. MMA, it's all a mess. Like, what are we doing here? So half of the MMA landscape is split on this Jorge Masvidal Colby Covington issue. That's not good. I mean, that's just not good. At least they were at my last check, right? And that makes me think more broadly. I just said back to MMA, but I'm kind of sidetracking that this country's split down the middle about everything. It's freaking ridiculous. We need to come together a little bit more. And MMA, you know, that's a good lesson in here. I'm going to get to my final and third point about this whole mess, and that is acceptance. Acceptance. You know, as a human being, we need to learn to use acceptance as what it is, a powerful tool. Had Jorge Masvidal had this tool in his toolbox, because as we know, mixed martial arts, just like everything else in life, it's 90% up here and it's only 10% right here. So, had Jorge Masvidal had the tool of acceptance in his toolbox, he would not have made the decision to do what he did in some parking lot, running up and attacking Colby. But he doesn't have acceptance. And as human beings, we don't always have to fight the outcome. I've heard people say my whole life, losing is not an option. I give you Chael Sonnen season, whatever, of Tough, when one of the first things he said to all those competitors on his team, 16 men, was losing is absolutely an option. It's a part of life. There's a lot of lessons to be learned from martial arts, mixed martial arts. And I wish, I don't know. Let me just stop with that. There's a lot of lessons for me to learn. So these are the observations I'm going to put out there. And guess what? Nobody's going to watch this. Most of my people, it's Home Theater Joe, right? We talk about home, media. I've been going off the rails lately because, our lives are changing. Y'all know. It's just been a whole lot of laptop in the kitchen stuff. Don't forget my dad right there. It's a cool dude, man. It's the coolest dude I ever met, Riley. Really. I mean, anyway, Dad's always here with us, right? We got the kitty cat. He's sleeping there. So y'all know things have changed. But this community's been basically all about music, movies, and MMA, and mostly just home theater, right? Not been a whole lot of music or MMA, but yeah, I just totally lost my train of thought. That's what happens when you're going live. But yeah, it's been the majority of my content. And people don't watch the MMA stuff I put out, but I love MMA, so I think it's good for me to be able to make these observations and present them. I hope someone, I hope this starts a conversation, man. Maybe somebody else has got a different view, different perspective than me in my community that's going to watch this, and they can put it in the comments section right down below, good, bad, or indifferent. We don't mind. We don't edit nothing around here. So you can go ahead and put them right down there. I'd love to start a conversation because I believe in information sharing, but I'm going to make these observations. They've just been bouncing around in my head forever. I'm like, man, it's Saturday morning, just after 7 a.m. I got to go to work in a little while, knock some stuff out because we have a whole lot going on, man. It's just crazy. It is crazy, dude. But man, we're so blessed and happy here, I guess, right now. I mean, we're stressed, but everybody's happy and healthy, I think, for the most part. So I don't want to make it like, oh, we're happy and healthy. So these observations have been rolling around, and I'm seeing guys like Jesse on fire, and I'm seeing guys like the MMA guru, and I'm watching all my other stuff on YouTube, and they're talking about this. And I don't think a whole lot of people are getting this one right, except the MMA guru. He's done a pretty good job nailing this one down. But man, Bisbing, you wrong. Habib, you wrong. Ariel Hawani, you wrong. Anybody else you see talking about this, mostly, they just, it's crazy to me. Crazy to me. So anyway, what have we been doing here? About 20 minutes. That's not too bad. It's good. It's a good live stream, I guess. Oh. I should just call these "Catch Me While You Can." You know what I mean? Catch me while you can. Anyway, it is Saturday morning, man. I hope everybody out here in YouTube land, has a great day, has a great weekend, has a great night, whatever you're on. And man, I'm sorry I gotta say it, but nothing's guaranteed, y'all. Our time here is not guaranteed. So enjoy yourself, enjoy the people around you. And just remember, sometimes we have to accept what's around us. We cannot control every outcome. It's just not possible. We're nothing but a little teeny tiny, so we're not even that in the cosmos. All right, I got all weird there for a second, but it's early in the morning, so whatever. Anyway, I guess that's like my little take on the Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington fight itself, coaching, and end result or acceptance, if you will. There's three things. I wanted to cover those. So I think there's a lot of lessons there to be learned. Hopefully I didn't do too bad articulating that stuff. Anyway, man. Yeah. All right. That's it. Anything else? I don't think so. So there we go. I think I already said it before, but let's just say it one more time. If you have any questions, comments, good, bad, or indifferent, you can go ahead and put them right down there below. They are greatly encouraged and greatly appreciated. As always, thank you for listening. Be good. Be safe.